Joe Zekas from YoChicago.com. I'm at a fairly new home in Winnetka, had an open house, and I just met Diane Falk, who's a loan officer at Fifth Third Bank. I had heard that people are paying cash for homes because they think they can't get a mortgage. Are the banks lending?
Of course we're lending. I have heard from a few realtors and some attorneys that there are people who are actually going ahead and paying cash as they're purchasing properties because they think they can't get a mortgage. A lot of what's been in the media lately leads people to believe that it's impossible to get a mortgage, and of course it's not. The era that we had a few years ago of no-doc loans, of course, is gone. But for people with good credit and who can verify their income, we'd be happy to lend to them.
What does good credit mean these days?
It really depends on the loan program that you're looking for. In the jumbo market, generally 700 credit score is a minimum for a jumbo loan. And
that's lower than I would have guessed.
700 is a pretty good credit score. You know, frequently though, up here in this market, most people have, 740, 760, 800 credit scores. I think right now with rates at historic lows, people should be, talking with their financial planners, talking with their accountants, and really looking at what makes sense for them in terms of borrowing. When you've got rates that are at 40-year lows, and we know that eventually those rates will start to go back up, and if you can lock in a long-term 30-year mortgage at a really fabulous rate, then that may be something worth doing. Everybody's situation is different, and one of the things that we like to do is sit down and analyze everyone's individual situation and give them several different options and see what works out best for them.
Let me give you a fact scenario. I'm 50 years old, I have good credit, I'm comfortable, I'm buying a $1 million home in Winnetka, the lower end of the market.
Yeah, a starter home.
a starter home. Should I go with a 15 or a 30?
It really depends, and the question that I ask people when they ask me that, and we also have a 20-year fixed, by the way, is I ask people what's more important to them. Is it their monthly cash flow, or is it the long-term cost of what they're borrowing? And I've had people of all different ages go with 30-year fixed because the more important thing to them is the monthly payment. And I've had young people go with 15-year fixed because when you look at the interest you pay over that total life of that loan, that's more important to some people if they can handle the higher payment.
A little while ago, people were saying that jumbo loans were impossible to come by. Is that the situation today?
There was a brief period where it was very hard to get a jumbo loan, and the rates were really quite a bit higher than the conforming loans. Conforming loans are loans up to $417,000. Right now, the jumbo rates are fantastic. I mean, we've been doing 30-year fixed, and it's every day the rates change, and the rates are dependent upon loan to value, credit score, and everything else. But when you can borrow with 30-year fixed jumbo at less than 5%, I think that's a pretty terrific rate.
One thing I see people coming into the market and not understanding if they're coming from the coastal area, 417 is conforming where it's a much higher number in other parts of the country. Right.
Well, when the whole kind of mortgage meltdown started, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac looked at certain areas of the country where the median housing price was very high, and they raised their limits in those areas to enable, when the jumbo loans were hard to get, they raised their limits in those areas in order to facilitate people being able to refinance. Unfortunately, Cook County doesn't, even though we've got a very high median price up on the North Shore, Cook County overall does not. So we're still at that 417 level.
How would people get in touch with you if they want to follow up questions?
Well, I'm at the Wilmette office of Fifth Third, which is right on Green Bay Road. Conveniently right next to Homer's Ice Cream.
Oh, that's reason alone.
Yeah, they can call me at the office, which is 847-251-8008, or on my cell phone, which is 847-800-4867.
Okay.